What's happening, people? It's the homie Smitster 400 coming at you straight off the Ave, and this is Smitster Reacts. Shout out to all the subscribers. Welcome back. How y'all doing? And if you made it to this video, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. New content every day. Now, new merch on deck. You can check this out on the community page, man. We got the links in description. We got Afterpay. We accepting all major credit cards and all that. So go ahead and get you one. I'll at your boy. Now, I'm finna react to this video. Shout out Culture Covered. Speaking on Kendrick calling out the game. You know, like, because everybody was up and, you know, talking crazy about the game not being that, the pop out. You feel what I'm saying? The game did a 17-minute video talking about not being there. So without further ado, man, we're going to check this video out and see what they talking about over here, man. Shout out Culture Covered. Kendrick calls out the game for betraying the West Coast over Drake. Wow. Let's get into this, man. Let's go.
The West Coast ain't you and you ain't, you know, you ain't this and you ain't that and you siding with and that. When y'all heard me say a month thing about who I'm siding with or this and that, I'll be in my own lane chilling.
So it seems like Game has burnt all bridges on the West Coast after appearing to align with Drake and his feud with Kendrick Lamar. The Game was noticeably missing from Kendrick's star-studded pop-up concert in Inglewood on June 19th. But he later hopped on IG and tried to play it cool, claiming he wasn't bothered about not being invited. But let's be real, it looked like he was holding back tears. Game insisted he never took sides and denied turning his back on the West Coast. But see, it looks like Kendrick feels differently. Kendrick's friend DJ Head just spilled the tea, confirming that Kendrick feels betrayed by the Game. Not only that, but he also revealed a major Easter egg from Kendrick's concert that was a direct diss aimed at Game.
Where have I heard Dre, I see dead people? And I went back to the Game One Blood intro, where that's what he says. And he said, Dre, I see dead people. So for Dre to be the person in this, and that was a Dre diss too. That was a Dre, and he told me
I'm gonna do an album without Dre's production.
Meanwhile, some fans are pointing out that Game was one of Diddy's rumored industry boy toys and attended those freak-off parties. So maybe Kendrick saying the Game is not like us. But seriously, what's the deal with the Game? Did he really choose the wrong side in the Kendrick-Drake beef and turn his back on the West Coast? And how exactly did Kendrick throw shade at Game during his LA concert? Let's get into it.
I watched Kendrick and his essence, going from literally a good kid in the Mad City, how he fought through being non-affiliated and staying the course, and then putting out that album, which was the one that should have won the Grammy to me. Not saying that Damn, I listened to Damn yesterday, it was incredible again.
So it looks like the Game really played himself in this Kendrick versus Drake situation, not just because he seemingly chose Drake over Kendrick and betrayed his city, but
One thing I caught in that little clip right there, he did say like he was kind of like, you know, him not being affiliated and this, that, and the third, like kind of canceling out any type of, you know, connections to any, you know, sets and whatnot, which clearly Kendrick was on stage showing that he clearly had some connections to some sets and whatnot, which, you know, most know. But anyway, let's keep going.
because he first chose Drake and then started flip-flopping and trying to play both sides. Just to refresh your memory, back in April, shortly after Drake dropped Push-Ups, dropping Gimme 50 in response to Kendrick's diss on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That, the Game took to Instagram, seemingly endorsing Drake by posting a video of himself chilling at home and listening to Drizzy's 2015 song, Energy. Quoting one of these lines from the track, the Game wrote in the caption, "I got rap ninjas that I gotta act like I like." But the Game's followers were quick to check him and accused him of betraying the West.
That had to rub Kenny and them wrong. I mean, I'm just saying, everybody over at Top Dog Entertainment, that had to rub them wrong. I'm just saying.
Coast by siding with Kendrick's enemy. Meanwhile, the Game also showed love to Drake in several Instagram posts, including one that read, "I'll call you my brother because there's never been a moment where you made me feel otherwise." And then Drizzy responded in the comment section saying, "Too much history." But guess what? The Game later went and deleted that post from his IG feed. And let me tell you, he's stirring up a storm of backlash from fans now. See, if you're gonna throw your hat in the ring, you gotta commit to it. None of this wishy-washy stuff. Deleting that post, that's just asking for trouble. So this got everyone wondering, wondering where the game really stands. Now, when the beef escalated and it became obvious that Kendrick would come out on top, the game suddenly started playing the neutral observer, claiming that he has equal love and respect for both K-Dot and Drake. And then on May 1st, just days before Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, the game took to IG to say the whole beef is watered down and threw shade at J. Cole for apologizing to Kendrick and bowing out. The game shared a screenshot of an X post by Joe Budden podcast co-host Officially Ice that read, "I want one of these rap ninjas to diss Game, just so y'all can see what a proper diss record looks like." Of course, the moment the game caught wind of his name being mentioned, he couldn't resist blowing his own trumpet. Game wrote in the caption, "Cause my level of disrespect has no limit and I can actually rap. Fans gon' choose up with whatever artist is currently safe for the culture to love as a whole, but every real rap ninja in this know who to play with and who not to. Hip-hop rap, or whatever y'all calling it these days, was already watered down." Then Cole apologized and turned this ish into Kool-Aid with no sugar. So the game went from cozying up to Drake, calling him his brother, to suddenly bragging that he's better than both Drake and Kendrick. And
You can't act like you don't know why you wasn't there, man. Come on, man. Things are just like, if we looking from like, and even Keem, shout out to Keem over there, Fig Community World. Keem was even hitting that, like, why are you making these IG posts? Why are you doing this and the third? If you and you from Compton, like, clearly there's something going on, right? You know what I'm saying? Clearly.
And get this, he's now flip-flopping again, claiming that actually both Kendrick and Drake are his brothers and denying that he ever picked sides. So as you all know, on June 19th, Kendrick threw down an epic pop-up show in Inglewood, solidifying his victory over Drake and his god status on the West Coast. Kendrick strolled onto that stage wearing a red hoodie layered over a white tee, rocking an iced-out crucifix, blue jeans, and some fresh Nike Shox. And he topped it all off with a red baseball hat. And turns out this getup was a nod to Tupac, who wore an almost identical outfit in '94 at the Source Awards when he dropped Out on Bail with Thug Life. Pac famously crashed the Source stage while A Tribe Called Quest was accepting their Rap Group of the Year award, while Pac's crew pressured the sound guy to play their track. Pac and Thug Life then took the mic from Q-Tip and started their set, sparking a short-lived beef with Tribe. Now, whether Kendrick's outfit was intentional or not, the message was crystal clear. Kendrick kicked off his set with his Drake diss track, Euphoria, and the crowd rapped along with every word, going bar for bar for bar for the entire 6-minute jam. But Kendrick dropped a new line in that last verse, saying, "Give me Tupac ring back and I might give you a little respect," referencing Drake's controversial purchase of Tupac's famous crown ring for $1 million. Kendrick also slipped in a couple of new lines during his performance of 616 in LA and his first From Like That. But the highlight of the night was Dr. Dre whispering, "I see dead people."
And not to interrupt, but the way that Drake be buying all these, like Pharrell's jewelry and then the Tupac ring, it's like he act like real. It is some real colonizer type ish, like how they went in Egypt and took all the artifacts and they just holding it around. They ain't really got no respect for it, or they would have left it alone. If they did have respect for it, like why parade it around? You like, you know what I mean? Like with the P, talk about melting the chains, when clearly you got the chains. It's just like you just doing this to dangle it in front of people's face. It ain't no respect involved in those purchases for real. That's ass. Let's continue though.
After joining Kendrick for a performance of California Love. And then Kendrick proceeded to perform Not Like Us, not once, not twice, but 6 times in a row. And just when you thought Drake couldn't possibly take another L, he did. By the 3rd or 4th time Not Like Us played, NBA stars DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook stormed the stage, showing off their dance moves. YG, Dre, and DJ Mustard also joined them, as well as several members of rival gangs, Bloods, Crips, and Pyrus, all vibing together and posing for a group photo at the end of the concert. Basically, Kendrick reminded Drake once again that he's not like us and that the culture had picked their side. But
that was epic.
Kendrick's fellow Compton native The Game was nowhere to be seen, which pretty much solidified what fans had already suspected, that Game sided with the enemy. But then The Game decided to clear the air and hopped on IG to say he never sided with anyone and denied betraying the West Coast.
Motherfuckers in my DMs and all on these, these blog sites and whatnot, talking about, the West Coast ain't with you and you ain't, you ain't this and you ain't that and you siding with And that, when the y'all heard me say thing about who I'm siding with or this and that, I'll be in my own lane chilling, taking care of my kids out the fucking way. That's how I made it this far in this game, man. A lot of y'all, a lot of y'all fans, it's kind of easy to sit where y'all sitting at y'all house and try to look engaged from where y'all, but it's a lot of that go on in this industry, man, and that y'all can see from what happens to some of some of y'all certain celebrities y'all follow and whatnot, and what it's all cracked up to be. And because I don't want to play internet games all the time or be on this every day or be on these people red carpet or doing all this, I'm like, for me, man, I got into the game thinking that this shit was gonna be one way and it was a whole other way. So I had to, navigate myself through the my whole time. I've been in this since 2003, right? Because that's when I got signed to Aftermath, 2003.
Game then talked on and on about how he's always been a solid character since day one, and he even claimed that Dr. Dre can vouch for him being one of the real ones.
To everybody, and if you ask anybody, anybody that really know me that's in this industry, and I'm talking about anybody, go ask Dr. Dre, man. Like, sit Dr. Dre down and really ask about who I am and my character and, like what he really feel about me at the end of the day as a man. Artist and all the rest of that shit. You're talking about as a man. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. my Nip. But ask Nip, if you could ask Nip himself, he would have told you, and he did tell you out his own mouth what, I contributed, to his career. From the beginning, bro. From the beginning on the West Coast, coming straight out of West Side, Cedar Block, Bompton, Piru, which is still my hood to this day. Never slacked, they never ran, they never did nothing but throw the I took that Cincinnati hat worldwide, put on for Compton, and I put on for the West Coast. And Top Dog know what it is, Kendrick know what it is, YG know what it is, Mustard know what it is, Ty Dolla $ign know what it is, Dr. Dre know what it is, Snoop know what it is, Hit Boy know what it is, Don Kennedy know what it is, all the powers that be on the West Coast. And I hope RJ, everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody on this, what and Chuck Taylor is and what I am and, what I've done for the West Coast.
But who is the game trying to convince, us or himself? Because guess what? Kendrick's friend DJ Head just confirmed that Dr. Dre and Kendrick actually sneak dissed Game during the LA pop-up show. So you know that part where Dr. Dre whispered, "I see dead people" before Kendrick performed Not Like Us? Well, it turns out that was a direct reference track One Blood, which begins with him saying, "Dre, I see dead people." And DJ Head pretty much confirmed this during his recent appearance on the Bigger Picture show, saying that everything Kendrick and his friends did at the pop-up show was carefully planned and strategized.
And I went back to the Game One Blood intro, where that's what he says. And he said, "Dre, I see dead people." So for Dre to be the person in this, and that was a Dre diss too. That was a Dre, and he told me
I'm gonna do an album without Dre's production at that time.
So to me, I thought that was so slick, and I know that they're calculated enough to know that was, and the game was.
These West Coast guys are too cerebral for me, man.
The game was noticeably missing, and also did seem to side a little bit with Drake. So I thought that was a cool double entendre, whether intended or not. But for Dre to intro, I thought that was such a cool moment.
Now remember when 50 Cent said the game is bipolar?
How could you have an assessment on a person who's flip-flopped their entire career?
I don't have an assessment. I just know.
I watched it go one way. He almost bipolar. If you watch it, like the way he does things, like he'll do it like he's extremely emotional, then it goes to extremely aggressive, and does something else.
Well, fans are saying 50 figured out the game a long time ago, and the way he's been moving during this Kendrick versus Drake beef is actually 100% on brand for him. One fan said, "He just unloyal and weird, a blood-turned Crip. He traded on 50. He loved the Canadian over his own culture and city, just always picking the wrong side and be mad he gets left out." And someone else wrote, "Game is one of the greatest lyricists to come out of LA. He just pulls weirdo moves, and that's why he doesn't get the love like that on the West Coast." But let me hear your takes on the game and the way he's been acting during this Kendrick versus Drake drama.
Much respect to the Game for his skills, but he definitely be tweaking. He definitely go one way and then go another way. He definitely what you would call a wobbler. Shout out the homies out. It's a wobbler. And unpredictable. All those words fit, but clearly the way that that show was orchestrated, like they said, like he was definitely showing a lot of people his, pull on the West Coast, his what he means to the West Coast, um, all the affiliation and whatnot was clearly on the stage. He clearly puts on for who he puts on for. You feel what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man, that was an epic show. Epic show. The video for Not Like Us just dropped. That joint is fire too. If you ain't see that, go check that out. But yeah, man, it was pretty clear that they wasn't on the best of terms because I mean, even if you rock with Drake, you from Compton. That was the whole thing. And then, like I was saying, Keem was on the podcast and he was speaking about how he had peep from his perspective how Game was on IG talking about Drake after Drake dissed, with the push-ups and all that. And it just seemed like, he was taking sides. Flat out. It just seemed that way. You know? It just seemed that way. But sign off in the comments how y'all feel about the situation. If you made it to this point in the video, go ahead, give us a like and subscribe. One time again, for all the subscribers, we appreciate y'all over here. And yeah, man, again, merch in description. Check me out. Check me out. Hold up. Come on. Come on. What we doing? You know what I'm saying? What we doing? Go ahead. Check out the site, Loco, Lost Search and Co. Find yourself. If you got dreams, go for them. You feel me? Whether it be a mechanic or the best burger flipper that freaking McDonald's ever had. You feel what I'm saying? Go for that. That's what the brand is about, man. Loco. Find what it is that you desire to be in life. Shout out to the dreamers. It's the Dreamer T right here. You feel me? Yes, sir. It's the homie Smitster 400. This has been Smitster Reacts. Signing off. Y'all have a good one. Owie.